So welcome back to part 2 of logging our woods. If you saw in the first part, we have Cline Energy Services out here doing some thinning in our woods. I explained exactly what they're doing. We're not taking any valuable trees. We're just taking all the junk, crooked trees or all the multiple stem trees that are never going to be worth anything for lumber and opening up the canopy and the forest floor for all those nice straight trees to hopefully grow some better hardwoods back here for our timber stand. The name of the game today is going to be skidding logs out of the woods. A lot of you guys have been asking for Cline Energy to start their own YouTube channel, and I think we finally talked them into it. They're going to be posting their first video hopefully before this one goes live. And the reason I'm telling you that is because the reason we're skidding a lot today is we actually had some equipment go down between our last video and this one, and one of them was the skidder. So the cutters were able to get way ahead, and today the skidder is going to make up some ground and hopefully get a lot of these logs out of the woods. So that's going to be their first video, is going over some of the breakdowns they encounter while they're here. I'm going to head back in the woods right now and grab my excavator and sit down there at the skid pile. And as quick as the skidder can get them out of the woods, I'm going to let him drop them. I'll play with my machine and get it all piled up so he can just drop and go and keep running and make an efficient use of his time in and out of the woods with that skidder today. 1 pile, 2 pile, 3 pile, 4, 5 pile, 6 pile, 7 pile, more. Well, what we got ourselves here is a couple of hogs. I know beech isn't really supposed to be good for anything lumber-wise, but we're going to go ahead and cut these in half and take them over to the sawmill and mill them up and just see what they look like. We're not going to do it today. We'll do that in a future video, but yeah, my machine will not pick these up as they are. They're probably 20, 25 feet in length. And if I had to guess, that one there is probably 24, 26 inches. This one here is probably every bit of 32, 36 inches in diameter. Well, Cline Energy Services just packed everything up and left. And after 6 days of cutting, chipping, skidding, and mulching, here's the first pile we have. You can see it goes all the way back here. And this isn't the only pile we've got. If you look, there's a whole nother one sitting over there. Let's go take a look at that one. So there's the first pile that we were just looking at. And I think the second pile is even bigger. I think it is safe to say we're not going to need any firewood poles for quite a while. My goal here is to not let any of this rot, get through all of this before we start having stuff rot. It's going to take me a little while to get set up. What I want to do is, you know, as they were skidding it out of the woods, I just wanted to get it stacked up as quick as possible, not to slow them down. Now that all their equipment is gone, I'm going to spend some time sorting through all this stuff. What can go through the Yappa? What are we going to have to cut with the chainsaw and run through the Easton-made axis? And there's some saw logs in here as well. Like I said, we're going to try throwing some of those big beech logs on there and see what they look like. But yeah, a lot of firewood. And while they had the ASV here, I had them do a little bit of thinning back here. This was all farm field when we moved into this property 5 years ago. This was farmed. It was full of switchgrass. And there's a little grove, kind of a swampy area down through there that all those trees must have seeded this with little maple trees. And when I started brush hogging the field, I just let it grow up because I figured it gave us nice privacy from the road. But as it turns out, this is pretty valuable real estate here because it's flat. And we don't get a lot of flat ground here in Pennsylvania. So I decided to have them open up a little pocket back in here. We still have probably a good 30, 40 yards of trees going around the back end to give us some privacy from the road. But yeah, open this back up. And with all those logs, we're gonna need a bigger wood yard. So I'm not quite sure what we're gonna do here. Maybe move a piece of equipment, the Yappa or the Easton-made axis, or maybe we'll start using this for drying firewood. We'll start storing all of our baskets in here maybe. So yeah, we got some more ground here. There's one more look at all those logs. We're gonna go ahead and hop on the four-wheeler and go back in the woods and show you what it looks like back there. So this is really what I was going for with this property is, as we mentioned in the last video, I really wanted to have a farm of telephone pole trees. And as you look down through here, I think mission accomplished. I didn't have them chip the entire property because that would have just taken way too long. But I did have them, you know, immediately behind the house back here. Some of the brush piles that you would have been able to see out the back window from the house, I had them chip just kind of in this area here to clean this up. As we move further back, you'll see there's some more brush piles, but they did stack them all together, so it doesn't look too junky. They did a ton of thinning back here. You can see they did a pretty good job of still leaving a lot of saplings back there, but just took out a lot of the less desirable species, left us some saplings. So eventually whenever me or my kids or my grandkids timber this for, you know, the good valuable lumber, we still have new stuff coming up in the undergrowth here. This is probably one of the bigger brush piles, but I actually don't mind this. Like I said before, they piled it all up. So you've got clumps of piles of brush back here instead of having it just scattered all across the forest floor. So we're still able to make use of most of our property and now actually able to walk back through here. There's a couple of deer up there. They're just curious, want to see what's going on. Everything we did here is not scaring them away. This is going to be the home of campsite 2.0. This one section here, I had them ASV pretty hard because it's underneath the pines. We've got some really nice cherry trees back in here. It's always going to be in the shade, so in the dead of summer when it's really hot out, it's still going to be nice and cool back here. And yeah, we got this cleaned up pretty good. Still a little bit of work to do. We'll bring the excavator back and do a little bit more cleanup, but man, I can't wait to start camping back here. It's going to be really nice. Those deer are still not going anywhere. Let's see how close we can get. Yep, there they go. This section of trail here is always really wet, and so they did do a little bit of damage on the trails here with the skidder, but it's not horrible. And if we get some good dry weather and get this to dry out a little bit this summer, we should be able to shape this back up. Right here is not too bad, but you'll see coming up here, it's pretty rutted out, and there's still standing water right there. They did a lot of thinning back through here as well. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera or not, but this trail started to get a little bit of a lean to it just because all the logs were wanting to skid downhill a little bit. So we'll have to come in here with the excavator and do a little cut on this side and fill on that side to level it back out. I brought the tractor back here, and yeah, it's a little tippy on the side of that trail right there. I mean, really, all things considering, our trails are still in really good shape. The other nice thing, I don't know if you guys could tell or not, but all of the skidding that they did was downhill. Our property's one big hill going up that way, and so they were able to really load up that skidder because they didn't have to tow it uphill. It was all downhill. And here's one more look at all the logs we got. So what really blows my mind is with how much they took out and how many firewood poles we have. When you go back through the woods, it doesn't really look like it was logged. Yeah, you've got some piles of treetops, but we still have woods. You know, that was the whole goal, is we didn't want to destroy our woods and take out a lot of trees. We just wanted to take out the junk and make room for all of the nice straight timber to continue to grow. And like I said before, hopefully one day, maybe in my retirement or my kids or my grandkids will be able to cash in on timbering this. But yeah, Cline Energy did an incredible job with our woods. I'm very happy that we trust them to come back in here and do this. You hear so many horror stories about people having their woods logged. Now, granted, this isn't a traditional logging in the sense of what you would normally think. We were doing some thinning and getting junk out and more of a timber stand improvement than actually going back and harvesting to collect money off the property. But still, you hear so many bad stories about people being very unhappy with their decision to have their property logged. And I think that's why a lot of landowners don't end up doing it. But yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, a lot of you guys asked for Cline Energy Services to start a YouTube channel. They have. They've got their very first video up. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to that video. If you like seeing that kind of equipment being run, go check out their channel. They're a great group of guys, and they're actually pretty funny too. So I think you guys will enjoy it. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, give me a big thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.